Hello, hello, good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. I hope to get some people on here live today to join me. This is going to be a fun one. So, most of you know that I have another Facebook page called Ask the Color Expert, and it was the idea came about because I have friends in the business that will text me randomly and ask me, I have this client, she has this color hair, she wants this color hair, what do I do? So I was like, wow, wouldn't it be fun to be like the Dear Abby of hair color? I have 32 years experience and I'm a color educator. I color hair all day long. So why not make a page? So I have over 2,000 members on there. I hope that if you see this and you didn't know about that, that you will go over there and join. You just have to be approved so that I make sure that you are indeed a hairdresser. I get some really weird requests from other countries. Not sure why they want to be on there, but I keep it for all hair professionals. It's free to join, and it's a great little community to bounce things off of one another. So yesterday, one of my best friends, hi Stephanie, hi Kathy, thank you for joining. Stephanie, we need to chat. I saw your post the other day. Don't you dare give up. You're so talented. We're going to talk. So my best friend called me yesterday and she said, I have this woman that is trying to grow in her gray. And of course she has that, ring around her head with gray from here to here. And then the rest is brown. What do I do? And I called her and I walked her through it. Very simple, easy peasy. And she was very appreciative. And then she called me back and said, now my coworker has a question. Her client is as blonde as you, meaning me. And she sent her this picture of a really pretty brunette. And I was like, oh, okay, show me the picture. So she sent me the picture. Let's see if I can do this. Very pretty, but it's an icy cool, there we go. Icy cool root and a warmer brown on the ends. So beautiful color on a beautiful girl. I don't know what this client looks like or whether she can pull off that look. So it was great timing because I was getting ready for this coffee chat and I didn't know what I was going to talk about. And I thought to myself, I love when I teach a class at the shows about simplifying the formulation, simplifying the consultation. I am a very big believer in consultation as everything. And I think as professionals that are on the clock constantly, we're always getting ready and geared up for the next guest. We don't ever have enough time to really spend to do great, awesome work sometimes. So every once in a while, you're thrown a curveball where someone sits in your chair that you're assuming is going to be same as last time on your color card and is going to just touch up her roots she's had for 17 years. And all of a sudden, she plops down in your chair and she's been Pinteresting for 7 days straight, going all through Pinterest, picking out all these amazing, gorgeous brunette colors. So as a life coach, the first thing that pops up for me is somebody's having marital problems because you don't go from 17 years as a blonde to wanting to be brunette for no reason. So there's a lot of psychology that enters into this equation. Why am I talking about that? Because it really matters and you can save yourself a lot of headaches. So she just all of a sudden wants to be brunette. Now you can do two things. You can turn around in your dispensary and you can slap together a formula, dump it on her head, time it for however long, shampoo it, bam, she's brunette. But what happens? You didn't take the time to look at her eye color. You didn't take the time to look at her skin color. Is she a good match for that? Is that going to match her clothing, her lifestyle, everything that goes into that? So what I do when that comes up, when someone wants to make a major change like that, is the first thing that I do, and it's so fun and it works every single time. I used to, in the salon, when someone said something like that, I have several brunette stylists with long hair in the salon. So I used to drag the blonde client out to the styling area, plop her in the stylist chair, and then I would take one of my stylist's long brown hair and I would lay it over top of the blonde and make it her bang and put the dark right here in front of her face. And literally every single time the person would leap out of the chair and say, oh my gosh, no, no, I don't want that. Because again, when they have this fantasy, when they're spending the weekend perusing Pinterest, this is who they think is going to look back at them in the mirror. And we all know it is a color brush, not a wand. We're not magicians, and we can't make them look like this just because they get her color. Can we do that color? Absolutely, no problem. We can give her that color. But is it going to give her what she's looking for? And is that really what she's looking for? So fast forward, I start doing a teaching at the hair shows, and I'm terrible with technology. So I can never count on my PowerPoint and my slides. You know, at these hair shows, the internet is awful, and I would get the spinning wheel of death for my presentation. And thank God it's all up here, and I don't need a script or index cards or anything to make me remember what to talk about. But I started to get more physical visual props for my shows. So I went to, there's a beauty supply in the mall right near my house, and they have all kinds of hair pieces. And this is a simple clip-in piece that is attached to a bang. So this is perfect for the client who, I'm trying to grow out the top of my hair. That's why I spend my days looking like Herbie the dentist from the cartoon. But if they've grown their bangs out all this way and then all of a sudden have a bad day with their bangs and say, I want bangs, I can pull this out, plop it on their head, show them, you know, what the bang is going to look like on their hair. Some of you probably saw my Instagram post yesterday with this crazy thing on my head. But of course I do it better than this. And I just place the short bang in front of them and show them what it's going to look like. Well, I also use this in the scenario that we're discussing. If a client has been blonde for 17 years and thinks that she wants to be brunette, as soon as I lay this right next to her face and show her how different her face, her skin tone, everything is going to look as a brunette, 90% of the time, they don't go through with it. 10% of the time, they have gone through with it. However, I have been doing this for 32 years. I have had this scenario countless times come up in the salon where someone suddenly, maybe they lost their job and they don't want the upkeep of blonde anymore. Maybe their husband is bitching about their credit card bills and seeing that they've had to upkeep their blonde every 8 weeks for the past 17 years and it's expensive and he doesn't want her to pay for it anymore. Or she doesn't want to pay for it anymore. For whatever reason, she's over the blonde and she 100% swears to you that she's totally ready to be her natural. For me, I haven't seen my natural since probably 1989, and I don't want to ever see it again. If I ever miss it, I just need to take a shower and look at other parts of my body to see how ugly my natural color is. So I'm not enamored with the mystery of me having my natural color again. It's not a goal for me. So every single time I've made someone back to their natural, and it's been beautiful. It's not muddy. I've done it right. I've done the, fill it with a warm color. Don't let it get muddy. Keep it super conditioned and shiny. Did, a perfect job of matching it perfectly. A blonde will never believe that her natural color is that dark because she has seen it. I mean, mine is under here and you can see how dark it is, but I never really see it because the blonde veil that sits on top tricks me into thinking that it's all really blonde. And I prefer to leave the depth because it makes the blonde that much blonder. And that's a whole other class and a whole other coffee chat. But I have never, ever, 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 100% never had someone stay there. They may have stayed for 2 visits at their natural color, but inevitably within no more than 3 months, I get the phone call, you were right, I really like my blonde hair. I want to share a story about myself. Years ago when I was very, very pregnant with my daughter, I would see a movie. Nicole Kidman always had that really pretty strawberry blonde hair with her icy blue eyes. I have blue eyes, so I've always been either my natural or blonde. So every time I go to a salon where someone in our world famous is working, a colorist that's well known, that we all know about from the magazines, I will go up to them and say, if I sat in your chair as a client and you could do anything you wanted, anything at all to my color, what would you do? Every single person, without exception, has said, I would make you strawberry, like a level 9 strawberry blonde, that pinky beigey blonde. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've spent my entire life trying to be a blonde and fighting the gold and the warmth, which is another class, ADD, here I go, Premier Philadelphia. I'm sharing my Let's Kick Brass class. Nobody knows how to kick brass better than me because I've been doing it to myself since 1990. So I'm thinking, I've been fighting the red and the gold and the orange in my hair for 20 some years. Why would I put red in? But there's a saying that, if one person says something to you and, you're not sure if it's true, just kind of shake it off. If 2 people say it, you might want to start thinking it might be true. And if 3 people say it, maybe you're actually wrong and they're actually right. So I've had more than 3 people say strawberry. So if you guys are on here live, I want you to put in the chat whether you agree or disagree, whether you think that that's an option for me, because I did try it. I was going on an appointment to pick up jewelry, and I had to go. I live in Philadelphia, and I had to go into the city to pick something up. And I was with one of the girls that worked for me, and we were really rushing. It was like an hour that we had to go pick up the jewelry, get back to work. We both had appointments. And her and I had discussed making me strawberry. So, of course, she was nervous because she said, I don't want to be the one that you're mad at if you don't love your color. And you, as a fellow colorist, know that when someone's been blonde for a long time and the hair is very porous, it's a pretty big decision because it's not easy. It's not that it's impossible, but it's not easy to go back to what you had without any residual damage or any issues. So I knew that if I went red, it was going to be a bit of a commitment. And I don't wear my hair short, so it wasn't like I was just going to chop it off. So we pull up at the outdoor parking garage where this jewelry store is, and the parking lot attendant, we're both very blonde at the time, and this was literally 25 years ago. So I was much younger, much thinner, and much blonder, and my hair was much longer. It was like down to here, and I thought I was all that, getting out of the car. So he did the whole cattle call, like, you go, ladies, you're beautiful, the whole bit. And I was like, oh, thank you. And we're walking down the street and we see a wig store. And I look at her and she looks at me and I'm like, you thinking what I'm thinking? Let me try on a wig to see the strawberry color on me and tell me what you think. So, hey, Tammy. So we go into the wig store and the guy's miserable in there. He probably doesn't get very much business and he knows people will come in there just to play around with wigs, and that's not what he's in business for, and I get that. But I kept looking and looking, and I couldn't find the strawberry color, so I found this like red that I would never in a million years be able to pull off. It's just not my look or my style. So just for fun, and it was like chin length with a harsh bang that's really stacked Vidal Sassoon in the crown and the back and really long in the front. Very edgy, very, not me. So I try it on, and now the guy is really annoyed, and he's like, you have to put a deposit down to try on wigs. So he charged me $75 just to try them on. So I gave him my credit card. He charged me $75. I try the wig on, and we're laughing hysterically because, you look so different with a different haircut and a crazy different color like that. But I highly recommend this exercise to every one of you as a colorist because you'll really understand how much of a person's identity is their hair color and their cut. It totally, completely can change your whole look. So the wig itself, I think, was $125, and he charged me $75 just to try it on. So we had so much fun and laughed so hard in the store that I said, you know what, screw it. I ripped the tag off, I kept it on, and I paid him the balance of the whatever dollars, it was $125 total, and wore it home. And I said to my coworker, I am wearing this all day today. And this is an experiment. I want to see if people are truthful, number one, if they'll really tell me what they think of what I look like, and whether they really like it or not. Like, see what my husband thinks, see what my family thinks. Like, hopefully they'll be honest. So I go get the jewelry. And of course, the jeweler is looking at me like, are you sure this is you? Like, do you have identification? Because I look completely different. So I pick up the jewelry, and now we're like racing to get home to get to the salon. So I pull up at the salon, and my client is waiting in the parking lot. She notices my coworker, but she's not saying hello or really engaging with me. And I'm looking at her like, I'm forgetting that I have this wig on and I look like a totally different person. So we go into the salon, and the client follows us in, and she's like, so is Elaine coming in today? Like, what's going on? And I looked at her and I was like, it's me. I just have, red hair. I changed my hair. So I never told anyone the truth that it was a wig. And it was a pretty good one. It looked pretty realistic. And she said, oh, wow, you really made a big change. And I'm, of course, trying to keep a straight face. I'm like, yeah, I got bored. I figured it was something different. Meanwhile, I'm in one of my best friend's weddings in like 2 weeks. So I would never have made that drastic of a change. So it was very out of character for me to look like that and to make that type of decision. So this went on all day long. The way the salon was set up is when they walked into the front door, I had this circular back-to-back mirror. So I was on the other side of the mirror. So they would come in, kind of do their thing, grab a magazine, grab something to drink, have a seat, just expect to look up and see Barbie, blonde Elaine. And they looked up and saw this, redhead with a chin length bob who looked like she was missing a couple piercings and a couple tattoos and a much different look. So it was so much fun. And then I had a gap in my day right around dinner time. And I was like, I can't wait anymore to show my husband. I have to see his reaction. So I drove home. He was just getting out of the shower. And I walked into the house and I was like, hey, I just wanted to come home real quick. I had a break in between clients. I wanted to show you my hair. I'm like, Lisa finally made me a redhead. What do you think? And he comes around the bend and just stops in his tracks and just looks at me. And he's like, oh, wow, you look really different. Like, you look like you belong on South Street with combat boots on and full camo, just like, this is so not you. Like, what? Don't you remember you're in your friend's wedding and you're wearing a pink dress? Like, did you ask her if that was okay? And he was so upset because I didn't run it by him. I didn't warn him in any way. And then the more he looked at me, he's like, please tell me that's a wig, because I don't know, it's really not you. I really don't like it. Like, he wasn't mean about it, but he was stunned. So I was like, no, it's a wig, and I'm having fun with it. Well, this went on to be every party we had at our house, everyone had to wear the red wig. We put it on my daughter, who was like 9 months old at the time. We have so many pictures. She's now 25. We have so many pictures in our albums of her with this, because on her, it was like a shoulder length bob because she was only 9 months old. And my husband's grandfather had to put it on, my husband's father, mother, sister. I mean, everyone in the family got their picture taken with this wig. So the $125 investment was so well worth it. And for me, it was worth it to live a day in the body of a redhead to try it on without damaging my hair. So is every client going to go to that extreme and be crazy like me and walk around with a red wig for a day? Absolutely not. But these little hair pieces, I believe this guy was like $9, something like that. I also got it in this like in between strawberry coppery color, because people try to describe reds and they always think differently than we do. So it's a nice visual to show a client. Like for me, if I said, oh, I'm toying with the idea of strawberry, I can see what is strawberry going to look like next to my face. So priceless tool, works really fabulous, and no one gets hurt. They can see the gamble of, what am I going to look like? Am I going to like it? And they can decide whether or not that they want to go through with it. The other, hold on, I'm trying to bring up a link. The other tip for tools in a consultation is in my opinion, Every stylist should have an iPad. They've come down so much in price that it's not expensive to purchase one. You can get them used, you can get the older styles. All you really need it for is the camera and the photo section. I also keep client records in the name and address, the contact section of, hang on. Okay, sorry about that. I keep people's color formulas in my iPad so that I have them always. If something were to happen in the salon where, say the salon had a fire and everybody's records got burnt, you hear it all the time, somebody leaving a hot curling iron on or something happening and a crazy fire happened. So I have all my information on my iPad. But what I've done on the iPad is, in my downtime, when I'm on a flight or if I'm on the beach and I'm bored and I don't have anything to do, I will bring up photographs that are like the most common things that people will ask me for during a consultation. Jennifer Aniston is a big crowd pleaser. Her color is requested every day, at least once in my salon. So I'll take all different versions of Jen's color, when she's more beigey blonde, when she's ashy blonde, when she's beachy and wavy, when she's straight and bob, like her friend's haircut, all the different versions of Jen. And I might have just a Jen Aniston album. Then I'll have like a redhead album, a brunette album, a balayage album, you know, a Victoria's Secret angel album, because they're another one that's very, very regularly requested. So instead of being flustered when someone sits in your chair and says, I want, who's somebody that they would ask for now? I'm trying to think of who has good hair anymore, like Carrie Underwood. If someone says, I want Carrie Underwood's color, well, you could stand there with your phone and say, you know, Carrie Underwood images, and it could be a color from 2 years ago that pops up or 5 minutes ago, and then you're scrambling and you're sweating and they need to get ready. You need to get them started because you're on a time crunch. So it just is more organized to have this lookbook online, and it's better than an album that's like we used to, in beauty school, we had to do like a portfolio album with different pictures. The iPad's just more professional looking. It's more up to date for the client, more modern, and they can sit with your iPad on their lap. If they're looking for a new haircut, I'll have them use my iPad while I'm doing their color or discussing their cut. I've had a couple clients ask for Jodie Foster. And Jodie Foster has that thin, fine hair, but wears it really flippy and fun. Jane Fonda's another one. So I always have their picture on hand. And then by the time they leave my chair, we're departmentalized in my salon. So they only see me for the color, and then they see someone else for the style. So by the time they get to the shampoo bowl, we've done a consultation on both their color and their cut. And then I send them to their stylist with the iPad picture, and they show the stylist, and the stylist knows what they're doing. And I was able to work my color into the overall look. So that's another tip. So hair pieces, for sure. Get these fun pieces in every color that you think you could possibly imagine. Another thing is clients will say, I want lowlights, because they read it in a magazine or they heard someone else had it. And they have this visual picture of what they think that it looks like. And I'm sure you've seen those pictures floating around Facebook of those chunky old school Kelly Clarkson with like thick ribbons of skunky brown with like thick ribbons of pale white. So that could be what pops in your mind as a low light when they're thinking just, you know, pieces of my hair as a low light. So visuals are huge. Making sure that you and the guest are on the same page, and you will never have a redo. The other thing that I wanted to share is my color correction contract. There was some buzz on Facebook yesterday. Someone did an amazing, beautiful job on someone's highlights, and she had a conversation with the client saying, I can get you there, but it's not going to happen in one visit. So she gave her a very realistic expectation verbally. We've all done it. Client says, oh, I totally understand that it's not going to look like that today. I get it. No, she doesn't. She does not. She gets done. They're blowing it dry, and she keeps looking in the mirror, and then she's looking at her this doesn't look like the picture. And you know, we want to say, no shit, Sherlock. I told you it was going to take more than one visit, but you can't. So you have to smile and say, Maria, remember during the consultation when I said this was going to take more than one visit? This is what I was referring to. In order to get your hair there in a healthy manner and have it still attached to your scalp, we needed to do this in steps. And you're going to need to come back in X number of weeks, and it's going to cost X number of dollars. I guarantee you none of you are having that conversation because it's awkward and annoying to get through to the client. However, the outcome of the situation is exactly what I would have predicted because nothing was in writing. I hate that I have to have this conversation, but it's 2018 and everyone's lawyered up. Everybody wants to sue everybody. Did you see this story going around with the lady that wants to sue the salon because she had a stroke and she said her neck was back in the sink for too long? She's suing for a couple $1 million. So this is the reality of our lives right now in this world that we live in. So I simply typed up a corrective color contract, and I'm happy to share it with you. If you put your email in the chat, I can put you on my email list and I can send you the corrective color consent form. I also will try and share it on this Expert Color Solutions page. So it basically says the date, my name, the client's name, and it says during today's consultation, we discussed, and it has a blank, and you write in order to achieve the picture that she chose from Pinterest of the blonde with root shadow, blah, 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 whatever the details are, be as detailed as possible, like your life depends on it. And put the price quote of visit 1 that you agreed to. We blank, leave a spot for the client's name, and I, Elaine, your name, have agreed that today's visit will include, and I put all the steps that I'm doing and the price. However, in order to achieve the finished result, 2 more visits must be scheduled, or 1 more, whatever it is, but spell it out so crystal clear, have them sign it, you sign it, and file it. I have a filing cabinet with all kinds of these things to protect me from these crazies. So if you don't take the time to do it, what you're doing is setting yourself up for a free redo that's not a redo. You discussed everything, they agreed to everything. I have a lady coming in today, same exact scenario. First time she came in, I shared her photograph on this page. She had the typical base break, orange, root. She looked like those cats that have all the different colors. I'm terrible at cat names, but that, like, you know, leopard, streaky, dark, orange, all the colors mixed together. It was awful. She had crystal blue eyes, pale skin. I saw her as an icier, beigeier blonde, and she doesn't really have a lot of gray, and she's like 70. So we had the chat. I sat with her for an hour in a consultation, not getting paid for it. It was on an extra day. You know, she came in during my work day, sat with her. She's a talker. She liked to go on and on and on about everything but the color. And I finally discussed with her what my plan was, and she loved it. Her family loved it. You guys loved it. When I posted it on here, it looked amazing. She called 4 weeks later, four weeks, not 4 days, not 4 hours, 4 weeks later, when her dark root is coming in that she always had her base broken, and said, I don't know, something's wrong. I have dark coming in, and I don't like seeing it, and I feel like we need to do my roots. So I took a deep breath, and I picked up the phone, and I called her, and I said, Betsy, remember our conversation that we discussed that you're getting away from getting your roots done? And remember when I told you this is probably going to be the most difficult transition you'll ever make with your color, but you will love me in 6 months? Do you remember that conversation? Yeah, I do, but I just think you should do what I did before. I'm like, okay, I will happily do what you did before, but just know that when you come in to see me, I'm going to show you the picture of your before, and I'm going to remind you that we're going to put you right back where you started. So pretty after picture, not so pretty before, as long as you're okay. And trust me, she will be filling out one of these consent forms saying, Elaine has recommended me not getting my roots done. I am, however, insisting to get them done. I was told that my roots will be orange 3 weeks from now and that is part of the process, but I am okay with that. And I do not hold Elaine responsible for my orange roots. So how did that story end? She's coming in today. She's coming in to the appointment that we originally made when we made the first color contract. And I promised her that if she waits until that date, she will not be sorry and that she will not have roots and she will be happy. So I talked to her again yesterday because she got cold feet again. This is what I'm saying. We don't understand the emotional attachment these people have to their hair. Even though her hair did not look good, that was her hair and what she was used to. So it doesn't matter if I think it looks good or if her husband thinks it looks good. She thought it looked good. So I said to her, trust me one more time. Let me do this again. Last time was a project because we were taking you from something to something else. This time is just a retouch. I promise you when you leave me tomorrow, which is today, you're not going to see that dark root and you're going to feel better. You're supposed to have a dark root. It's been 7 weeks since I've seen you. You used to get your regrowth done every 4 weeks. So you have almost double the amount of regrowth, and that's okay. That is on purpose, and that's where we're headed. So I saved myself a $200 redo that's not a redo that I would have had to do just to keep this client happy and to keep her coming back. So save yourself the aggravation. It took me 32 years to figure this stuff out, and that's why I'm here every Wednesday sharing with you guys. So if you liked these tips with my little crazy hair pieces and you like anything that I chat about on these coffee talks, I hope that you will join me. It's not too late. I'm about 75% full on my Secrets of Celebrity Colorist live training. It is Sunday, August 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you're somewhere else, you can get on whenever it's 7 p.m., whatever 7 p.m. is in your time. So if it's California, it would be 4 p.m. and so forth. There will be a replay. I really encourage you to join live because there's more interaction and you can ask questions, but don't not do it because you're not home on the 13th at 7 because you will have access to the replay that you can watch at your leisure. So I put the link in the chat on this page. Again, it's Secrets of Celebrity Colorists, and I share even more tips about consultation, something that I learned from Beth Minardi that completely changed my entire color game and has helped me to avoid brassy hair for the past 20 years in clients just by doing this one simple trick. So that's one of many. I have tips from Tracy Cunningham, Johnny Ramirez, Nancy Braun, Beth Minardi, my buddy Ian McCabe, so much information. The feedback that I have gotten was, oh my gosh, I took 4 pages of notes. That was amazing. It's 60 minutes of tips and techniques and then 30 minutes of Q&A. So I hope that you'll join me. It's only $20. $20 is, 2 Starbucks runs for you. So don't go to Starbucks. Make your coffee at home. Join me on Sunday the 13th. Try to do it soon because I'm going to be sending out the link no later than Friday so that people don't feel frazzled about how to get on, how to log on. Some people have asked me if they can join from their phone. Yes, you absolutely can join from your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your computer, any source where you can get on the internet, you can join in this training. So I hope to see you there. I'm going to be doing at least one of those a month. So if the celebrity content doesn't interest you, which I can't imagine why it wouldn't, it's over $10,000 worth of celebrity education that I've attended across the country that I'm sharing with you for $20. So I can't imagine you not wanting that. But I'm also, the next one coming up, I'm going to be sharing my Let's Kick Some Brass that I'm also teaching at Premier Philadelphia. So if you're not planning on going to Premier, I hope that you are because it's going to be an amazing show. I'm thrilled that it's in my city. Premier does an awesome job. The Premier Orlando show, they were offering Dyson blow dryers for $200. So that alone is a reason to go to Premier Philly. So I hope to see you guys there. I hope to see you on my online training. And I really hope to see you back here next week on Coffee and Colorful Conversation. Please share this page with stylists that you know, have them join it so that they can follow me and my tips and tricks. If you haven't already bought a copy of my book, I hope you will. It's doing really well, and I now have a Kindle version. So if you're a Kindle reader and you didn't want to clutter up your bookshelf with the paperback book, I also have the Kindle version available. So I will see you guys soon. I hope you have a great Wednesday, and thank you for listening.